In this video, I want to talk a little bit about the module setup and module organization in Canvas. Again, we're talking about courses that we have imported from the Moodle LMS and brought into Canvas. Now, there's a few changes to this that we need to be aware of. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure you're on your course home screen. Okay, you can do that by clicking either here or on the home button. Now, to make this easier for you, I would recommend coming through and taking every module, what used to be known as topics in Moodle, now it's modules referencing in Canvas. And I would click the little triangle to pull them down in size. That way you're only going to be working with one at a time. And it will make a lot more sense and it will be easier for you to work with. So for some large courses, this is easy. For some reason, this doesn't stick, so my recommendation is don't spend a lot of time leaving this screen and coming back to it, because a lot of times this decreasing in size is, on some browsers, is not called what we call as sticky. In other words, it doesn't save. So let's come down here. Okay, now we have everything decreased in size. Now, you'll notice the modules don't anymore have, I'll come down to the second one because the first one is just, it doesn't have a lot of pictures or anything like that. Any pictures and everything that were in Moodle, like on the topic headings, is now this first topic under the module. Okay, it's usually named the same way. So if I'm going to right click on it and open it in a new tab just because I don't want to leave this window. If I come here, okay, there's where my heading used to be. This was a bad picture. I'll have to go back and fix that eventually, but this is the heading. Okay, now, so just so you know where stuff went, okay? Now, when we look at this, we want to make sure these things are really well organized, okay? Because this is a lot in one place. There isn't a ton of formatting or anything else like this. So when we look here, okay, this course is set up actually pretty well. We know this is topic 1, okay, and we know we have our student information. We have this week's homework assignments. Okay, we have today's lecture topics. This is where our PowerPoints and our handouts are for the lesson. And then we have additional resources, which is usually handouts. And then we have labs. You'll notice that these headings are all in place here, and that's pretty important. Okay, now we're going to have to fix this one because it's no longer going to be Moodle, so that's something that has to go on my list. The important thing about this is anything that is checked here is available to the students. If it's not checked, it's not available to the students. So we have to go through here and we have to make sure that things we want the students to see are checked off. Okay, we want them to be able to see on their first day. We want them to be able to see their homework, the syllabus. We want them to answer the question, did you read and understand the syllabus? That's sort of important. But we do not want them to have access to the actual PowerPoints. That's for the instructor. So we want to unpublish that. Okay, we want to unpublish any of the actual PowerPoints. I want to leave the handouts. Unpublished just means that the equivalent of the closed eyeball. Okay, and that's all there. That's all there. Okay, so that one is pretty well set up. Again, we have our topic headings, okay? Now, the other thing that you can do if you choose to, okay, and sooner or later we do want to do this, is we want to edit the names, okay? So, for example, it's topic 1 and it's activity 1.1, okay? So you see that what we've done here is we've actually started to put numbers in here. And the way you do it is just, it's module 1 and it's activity 1.2. Okay, in other words, this allows the students and the instructors to have very easy reference to each activity. So I'm doing 1.3, and the little up line, the little vertical line, is if you hit the shift key, and it's usually on a key with a backslash and the little pipe, it's called, right around your enter key someplace. Okay, and at the same time, you'll see if you do this, you can actually do your indents at the same time. Okay, but most of these, at least in this course, is set up right. Okay, so I'm just going to come down, and again, I'm going to come down and I'm going to do just a little bit more of an organizational thing, and makes it easier for you and the students to reference specific activities. Now, because the students don't see the PowerPoints, you do not want to number the PowerPoints, because again, they're going to question if we go from 1.6 to 1.8 without a 1.7. The students are going to get confused. So you want to skip the PowerPoints and you want to come down there. Okay, you see what I did is I'm just referencing the things the students can actually see. And I'm just going to do one module, but you want to do like the next module, and this would be 1.10. The next module down would be section 2. The one at the top, the course orientation material, okay, we want to do as 0 dot something, okay? So again, I'm going to finish this one module because it isn't too much here. And that way, every activity or every piece, every document that a student will see is referenced by a number. And that way, an instructor can say to the class, okay, find number 1.16. We're going to take a look at that. Okay. And in this case, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to continue my numbering, and I'm going to come through the labs, and I'm going to do the same thing. And again, it's a little bit of a difference from what we had in Moodle, but this actually makes a lot of sense in terms of referencing and stuff like that. And some of this stuff, again, we're going to have to come back and change. Okay, anything that has like a reference to Moodle, but I'm not going to change that now. And as I said, up at the top here, we have the course overview, okay? So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do 0, okay? Because course overview isn't really a section, but it's sort of important in terms of the material here. Okay, so again, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do the 0 dot space 2. And again, there's a space between this and this. Okay, course prep checklist, the students don't see. That's for instructors only, so I'm going to unpublish that. We want them to have access to the web links. Okay, it's very important that they have access to these web links for eBrary and ProQuest. We're going to make some adjustments to that as well. But again, not right here. Break schedule, yeah, let's make sure that they know actually what their breaks times are. And again, this may change on per campus. Okay, online building code. Let me just do this last one, and then I'll show you why this actually also is important. So now everything is numbered in my first two sections. Now, the reason why this actually starts becoming important, if I come over here to assignments, which is a link accessible to the students, okay, I can now, from this long list of homework, the students and the instructors can identify exactly where it is in the modules. Okay, so you see now we know exactly where it is. It's in Module 1 and it's down near the end. Okay, so as we come through here, this will all have numbers on it, and we'll be able to identify exactly where it's at, exactly in what order everything's in. So hopefully that makes sense, and that's what we want to do with our modules. And again, we want to make sure that there's headers in things. We want to make sure that there's topics, okay? We want to make sure that there's breakdowns. Okay, so like let's say if I wanted to do a breakdown for my library. Okay, this is all library information. So if I want to add that header, I would come down here and I would just say text header, and I'm going to say reference. Okay, I'm not going to indent it. So what it does, it puts it at the bottom. Well, I don't want it at the bottom. I want to drag it up and put it right over where it needs to be. Okay, so there we have now our header for that. And I'm going to want to publish it because, again, if it's not published, the students can't see it. So the one final thing that I want to suggest you do is you want to come down through, as you come through here, and you want to have this course ready to be duplicated. Okay, this is a blueprint course. You can tell it's a blueprint course by the little blueprint up here. But you want to make sure that you have everything in a published or unpublished all the way through the course, so it becomes very easy for the instructors to just assign dates to the material and open and close the modules.